independent evaluation of the relevance and effectiveness of the Green Climate Fund's investments in the African states is part of an effort by the GCF's Independent Evaluation Unit, IEU, to evaluate the relevance and effectiveness of interventions in vulnerable countries, including the least developed countries, LDCs, and the small island developing states, the SIDS. With regards to relevance and targeting of the GCF in Africa, the evaluation found that the GCF's portfolio in Africa is weighted towards mitigation results areas rather than adaptation results areas. For country ownership, actual stakeholder engagement at the country level in monitoring and learning remains limited in GCF's funded activities. Civil societies also remain a vastly underutilized source of experience, wisdom, and capacity. With regards to accessing the GCF, it remains a challenge for the African states. For example, GCF support programs are not effective for some African states. There is an existing perception of limited quality of access through multi-country GCF projects. Perceived distance makes it difficult for GCF to establish and maintain working relationships with the countries. English as the only working language of the GCF is a serious and costly impediment confronting non-Anglophone African states. Moreover, for gender and social inclusion, the comprehensive learning and knowledge management mechanism for mainstream gender transformation is lacking. The consideration and active involvement of indigenous peoples are limited. First, the GCF should consider focusing more on addressing climate change adaptation needs in the African states. 2. The Secretariat should clarify roles and expectations on local stakeholder engagement by a national designated authority or focal points throughout the project cycle. 3. The GCF should consider and remedy high transaction costs for participating in the Readiness and Preparatory Support Program, RPSP, by simplifying the processes. 4. Consider steps to increase efficiency in its engagement with GCF stakeholders, such as increasing its regional presence and engagement in Africa, and reviewing and changing the English-only policy for project submissions and accreditation applications. And lastly, consider a comprehensive and integrated learning and knowledge management approach in the African states, as well as become more proactive in applying its indigenous peoples policy in the African states.